So this is my list of the best I cannot talk. This is my list of the best self-improvement books that I have read. These are great ones that you can start off on if you're beginning your self-improvement journey. The first one is Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. If you have not read this book, I'm convinced you live under a rock. So this book defines pushing past your limits, despite what you've been through, to not be a victim, but be a victor, to overcome the odds, and you define what your limits are. It teaches you the process that he went through to basically rebirth himself, to make himself anew, and the mental challenges and the stuff that he's been through and what he overcame and how you can do it too. I promise you, if you struggle with motivation, you won't after reading that book. Number 2 is Miyamoto Musashi's Doodo. I made a review of this book a long time ago. It plays an important part actually to this channel. And basically, in short, it was written by a legendary swordsman in Japan, a Ronin. Basically, before he died, he wrote 2 books, one of them being the Doodo for his students and which way they should live. Little advice before he goes. Talks about stoicism before stoicism. And it talks about ridding yourself of tradition and things that don't really benefit you, that are not really practical, but people hold on to for emotional value or because it's tradition or because they're attached to it in some type of way or form. It talks about not being guided by lust or love. And some of the advice, I'm not going to lie, is a little bit outdated, but you could still find ways to make it apply. And honestly, I enjoyed reading it. Now, Relentless by Tim S. Grover. This is a great book. I haven't finished reading it, I'm not gonna lie. So far from what I've read, it's basically this coach that has trained with great athletes, and then he starts to realize this psychology. So he's trained with Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, etc., 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 right? So he describes the difference between being good, great, and unstoppable. And he describes the benefits of each one, which one you want to be truly, and where you're at. Basically, it helps you understand the mindset of greatness that you need in whatever endeavor you choose, and what level you choose to perform at, and what it takes to do those things, and how to do it. Now, the book of How to Be a Modern Samurai by Anthony Cummins. This book is probably the most favorite book besides religious books, right? This book is my most favorite book because it literally gets down to the nitty-gritty of how to apply samurai tradition, values, way of life, and how to apply it now. It talks about from like religion to love to hobbies to basically a lot of aspects. And the thing I really like about it is that like to live like a samurai, and this sounds nerdy and geeky, okay, whatever, but I'm a little bit of a geek, but to live like a samurai, right? To live like a warrior. I like that it's a lifestyle, but it doesn't interfere with other parts of your life. Like it's an addition to the lifestyle that you already live if you choose to walk that path. If you're really interested in like the warrior way, the samurai way, which you should be if you're watching this channel, I definitely recommend you getting that book. And honestly, it's very good advice. Like it's very good advice. I think we're at number 4. Dale Carnegie's How to Make Friends and Influence People. This book is so good. And honestly, I'm already an extroverted person, so a lot of this stuff is kind of like I already knew. Honestly, I didn't finish it. This book is great for building your social skills. And the thing I like about this book is like you could read chapter 1 and then instantly go out and try to apply chapter 1. And like you can grow as you read the book, and that's what I really like about it. It helps you build a foundation in which you can improve your social skills, you can improve your networking. And so it's a very good book. And your leadership, honestly. All right, number 6 is The Warrior Poet Way. So this book was written by a former Ranger. And in this book, he talks about the dynamics between being a warrior and being a poet. For example, like if you're a boxer, you have to have this relentlessness, this aggressiveness to defeat your opponent, to destroy your opponent when you're in the ring. But then when you get home, when it's all said and done and you win, and you're amongst your family, you cannot bring that warrior attitude with your wife. That same attitude that you act when you're amongst your brothers, when you're amongst your training crew, obviously you cannot bring that around your wife. But a lot of times, men struggle in this way. He tells you how to overcome these things as a man. So it's very good advice for a warlike man that basically is finding his place in society. It also teaches the values of what a warrior should be and how to be self-sufficient, how to be free, not only by yourself, not only within yourself, but make the other people free around you, being your family. And last but not least is The Way of the Superior Man. I think it's a great book that all men should read. Like, it should be in your library. So it talks about habits that all men have and better alternatives to get better outcomes in life. It talks about the polarity between men and women and the beauty between our differences and how the man can understand the mindset of the woman and vice versa. Like, if a woman reads that book, it'd be great for a woman to do so she can understand the psychology of a man and the importance of being present in the tasks that we do in our daily lives. For example, we want to spend time with our woman, right? But as she's there, we're doing work on the computer or something like that. That's not being present. And little do you know, when you're with your woman, she'd rather have 100% of you for 10 minutes than half of you for an hour. And honestly, that small thing creates problems in a relationship. And basically, he just gets into that more in depth and talks about things like that. And then another thing that it talks about is facing your fears and embracing challenges in front of you by getting out of your comfort zone. All these books are great. for if you're a young man on your self-improvement path, because they teach you a lot about social skills, focus, what it means to be a man. And honestly, these books here, the reason why I put it there is because it helped me do some healing and learn some things about myself and actually apply it. Like, that's another thing too, is like, we as students, we would read books, but it'd be pointless things on an article about sharks, and then you got to write an argumentative essay. It's like, but when you're reading books, highlight the important things and actually apply it to your life and find the ways on how you can apply it, because knowledge that is not used is wasted, because knowledge is used and is supplied, and that's the true testament of how you learn something. And then when you know that you master something is when you could teach somebody else that. And so that's just the whole point, man. Mad love. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I might do more book videos and all that stuff like that. I'll see how you guys respond. Let me know. And that's it. Peace.